Good day, everyone. Today, we'll be talking about one of the best things developers of CZN have included. Thanks so much, Super Creative and Swagate, that made CZN more fun and more in line to what the community expects from this type of game, which is a roguelike, right? And that would be Sortie. Now, Sortie is one of the modes wherein the main intention of it is playing for fun. Now, there have been so many things I've read through Reddit, through X, to the main card of CZN, and including if we look through Stove, there's some comments about it. But what the few people forget is that the main intention of Sortie isn't the improvement of your characters necessarily or getting the rewards. It's with the full intention of playing the game mode roguelike as its main source of fun. The developers of CZN were very privy and aware that there was a keen lack of playing around the roguelike aspect of the game, as they have seen from the previous seasons and the pre-seasons before this. And this is a very impressive and good step forward towards the making the game both fun and very manageable in terms of keeping having a general upkeep with the game among all the other amazing things included in season 3. So, as you can see, this is Sortie. There are 5 difficulties, and each of them relate to the level of the monsters and mobs that you encounter in the chaos. So, let's look at some of the things over here. On the upper left side, you can see there's a Sortie time limit. There are some changes in the rules, the chaos, risk modifiers, and all of the jazz. You can see over here all of the things included. Risk modifiers, dimensional singularities or the random encounters, chaos analysis lab, which you can see in the bottom left hand side. We'll go through that later on. Tactical optimization, these are the improvements when you play through Sortie. You spend points to improve those things if you're familiar with the upgrade system in the chaos. It's quite similar in that regard. Sortie logs, mutation, harmonization, distortion aspects. So these are some of the enhancements and nerfs, I believe, throughout the entire Sortie encounters. So that being said, the idea here is that it is in line with the seasons or the updates, and we can expect as the players that the developers through Super Creative and Smilegate have the intention of making this a fresh and new experience every season or every rotation in that manner. So here we can see the cumulative Sortie clears. I've only done 11. I got a little gift in time while I was playing through the creator event. But I've played quite a bit, like quite a bit, and I've failed multiple of times. But I'll talk about some of the cons about it later on. On the right hand side, you can see the drafted combatants. For the entire existence of Sortie and up to now, we've only seen one character that stayed in the drafted combatants, and that would be Hyde Marie. All the other 5 have been rotated every week, I believe. So here we could see the buffs that they have. Generally speaking, any combatants with offensive capabilities get the attack chance and crit chance. Here we can see Black Mass and Tactical Data Gain. These are the currencies we can use to either upgrade the tactical operations or purchase things from the Sortie shop. And here we can see the increased chance to appear during the Sortie. So one great thing about Sortie is that if you don't own the character, you are able to have them be shown up through the Sortie event. I'll put some videos and clips over here on some of that aspects. But every levels, there are 3 stages or 3 levels in the chaos run. And the first time you enter the game or you enter the Sortie mode, you'll be asked to choose one single combatant who's your base combatant, And this is based on the character that you have. For this case, it would be, let's say, Hyde Marie. And the things that are included here and more notable is that you get all of the upgrades except the memory fragments. So the gears are not considered in the sortie event, which is a really good thing as gear and memory fragments have been quite a problem in terms of the community. Uh, it's pretty hard to get some of the substats that are ideal per character, and they mitigate that through the use of the character level, the partner level, the potential levels, as well as their duplicates. Okay, so here in the bottom right hand side, unavailable for sortie. Later on, we'll see as the number of combatants are introduced to the game, there could be a potential removal of some certain stronger combatants, or we'll just see, like, for example, the most popular character in the previous rotations not be included for the rotation of the next sortie. And next would be seasonal cards. You've seen season 1 and season 2. Those are like Burning Life, Forbidden Catalyst. We'll be seeing certain amount of cards that fall under those categories or gear. So we'll see some of those cards as we play through sortie. Now, why do you want to run sortie in the first place? So one key thing is that sortie, despite being an optional, and I put the emphasis on the word optional game mode, the main benefits that you get is that through sortie, you're able to purchase items that allow you to edit your decks that are used throughout the entire other parts of the games, like the basin, the farming stages, and those certain game modes need you to have an existing save data. And through sortie, we're able to purchase these items, such as Core of Potential, which applies a unique epiphany, for example, to a unique epiphany card. So you can choose a different epiphany to edit on your existing deck. So that's a really good and important thing to take note why you want to run sortie. Other notable things is that the premium growth stones, they are much cheaper to purchase, I believe, over here to sortie. And that's pretty much it. Those are the main benefits. The key things that you always have to pick up is the score of the reverse, which allows you to duplicate a singular card. This is a very, very limited purchase. And I believe you can only get like one per sortie rotation. And that's one of the main things I'm concerned about. Otherwise, really good rewards for the game. And I could see some very good improvements in terms of the rewards that you can get over here. Okay, next, tactical optimization. So you must be wondering, how are you able to go through the difficulties of each of the levels in sorties? One big thing to take note of is tactical optimization. There are a couple of upgrades over here that are very notable and very important to pick up. But generally speaking, as you play through sorties, you'll get some of these tactical data which is used to purchase those upgrades. And it's gets really expensive, like really expensive. So the expectation here is that despite you failing your sortie runs, you're still able to purchase a lot of tactical datas. So here are some of the important things to purchase in your tactical datas or tactical optimizations. One, crit chance. Very sought after. 3% is a lot. And there are, I believe, 5 tiers of crit chance. And they're all 3%. So you can see it's 15% crit chance, I believe. I'm not sure what it is in the latter part, but I assume it's going to be 15%. So one of the key things to upgrade here in the flexible tactics would be tactical review, which gives you the ability to flash at the safe zone. So this is one of the one-time consumable, or this is the one action you could do in the safe zones, wherein you can re-roll cards that don't have epiphany. First of all, second, you're able to apply divine epiphanies for cards that have existing epiphanies. So let's say you have one card that doesn't have an epiphany. If you flash it, you're able to choose one epiphany already. Or you can have an existing card with an epiphany, and then you can apply a random divine epiphany towards it. So this is a really good and important thing to upgrade, and it's one of the first things that you are able to upgrade while you play through Sortie. Next would be unit reorganization. If you recall what I said before, every level you get to choose one combatant to join you. And let's say you have a set, you get to choose 3 combatants. So just having this allows you to have like 6 choices to pick from. This gives you the flexibility to choose your preferred combatant in the party, or maybe you want to see if you can fish a better combination, like I've said before. This is a really important pickup for your combatants, by the way. Next would be operations reassignment authorization. I don't think this is too important to pick up. Later on, you'll see there are more important things to upgrade. As for this emergency supply, this gives you a free reroll. You can skip this for now. This one is a ability to choose another choice in the gray markets. If you're familiar through the chaos modes, there are like those outposts where you can exit the chaos modes. In Sortie, you're introduced to the gray market, and that one replaces the outposts in this specific game mode. You can skip this one for now. This one is skippable as well. Starting gold is good and all, but it isn't too important in my opinion. Next would be the discount to Delangsa, Jajan. You could skip this for now. This one is increased credits gained from battle arena area, 30%. You can skip this for now. This one's really important in my opinion. Increased rare grade unidentified area chance by 30%. I believe it starts with 10, 20, and then 30% on level 3. This is an important thing to pick up, as you are more likely to get the events that give you card removal, divine epiphany reroll, perhaps mythic gear, and all the likes. And more importantly, the duplication of a card. Please pick this up if you can. This one increases the chance of obtaining monster cards from elite battles and areas. So I forgot to mention, the one thing about Sortie is that I've said before, Sortie is a play for fun game mode, and because of that, you're not able to get save datas. So this is a potentially good thing to pick up, but if it's a priority, I wouldn't say so. You can skip this for now. Okay. One of the important things to take note of is that breakdown management and breakdown recovery is very important to Sortie. So having the 50% chance to recover from a breakdown is very important. Pick this up if you can. Another key thing to improve on is the chance of divine epiphanies. 20% is a lot. 1 out of 5 chance to see it. Pick this up if you can. And lastly, tactical stabilization. When choosing a reward, you get an additional 50% max health. I wouldn't say that's too important. So just to summarize it all, you pick up the flash, you pick up the reroll, you can skip this, you pick up the increased rarity for your unidentified areas, you pick up the recovery, you pick up divine chance. Those are the key things that you have to pick up. As for your tactical authority over here, pick up the crit chance. And personally, I wouldn't say pick up the attack combatant damage amount. Your priority is being able to survive through the entire Sortie level. You get more benefits from completing an entire Sortie. So you, in my opinion, pick up the HP and defense first before you pick up attack. So you must be wondering, how am I able to clear up most of the entire shop of flexible tactics? So what I do is, other than spamming a lot of Sortie, you can always reset all and allocate points to a specific tree, unlock it for the first time, and then you have the entire tree unlocked. And then reset once again, and then apply all the points as you deem fit. Okay. Next. So, as I've said before, there are 5 levels in Sortie. If we're talking about efficiency in what you should farm if you're not able to clear out difficulty 5 with the modifiers, ideally you should be clearing difficulty 4 for your sorties. I believe it gives you 118 points if you have at least one of the drafted combatants, which isn't that bad. And I believe in this one, it's around 140 ish if you have a singular combatant that's part of the drafted. So, initially, clear through your. Initially, clear through difficulty 4 as much as you can until you hit certain key point upgrades over here, and then go to difficulty 5 with the certain risk modifiers. So, if you're familiar with Slay the Spire, there are some things that make the game more difficult towards the players. And here in CZN, and I believe this could be changed eventually, depending on the rotation of season, is that you can change what type of buffs and nerfs you give to yourself and to the enemies. And through that, you can increase the difficulty of the entire gameplay if you deem the game a bit too easy, if you're that kind of gamer, or you're trying to fish for the most amount of benefits through a singular run. I think you can get 190 of the data points if you do this, I believe. Okay. Yes. Once you complete it, you get 594, I believe. Yep. And this is the key thing to note. You cannot obtain the save data whenever you play Sortie. Here we could see the risk modifiers. It buffs the enemies by 50% and grants them another 50% more HP. So risk and rewards, as always, do as you deem fit. Next, hardcore mode. So there are two modes if you're familiar to how Chaos does it. It's quite similar here. You can either make it quite easier or you can make it harder. The main difference is that you get one. If you look here in the right hand side, you get 100 more points. And that's pretty much it. But I've never played the easier mode. But that doesn't stop me from encouraging you guys to play whatever you guys deem fit. Okay. So the things that you have to take note, you're not given a second chance. You can't. Once you hit once you receive an attack that reduces the HP by 0, you're already considered fatally dead, to be frank. And that's fine. You don't have to do the shenanigans of having the double break thing, and then you just reset your run. They have higher tenacity. If you look at the HP bar below the enemy's HP bar, you can see a yellow bar over there. And they have a bigger bar. So you need to be able to break it. It takes more things to break the bar and stun them. Here we can see there's a small chance that a battle will occur. This isn't a guarantee. Usually, when you think about the random encounters, it gives you like a random event. But here in this specific hardcore mode, there's still a chance that you're going to encounter some battles. And then, of course, elite battle areas is increased, so you'll encounter more elites. Okay, so we've gone through all the things. Let's see what we can do in here in Sortie. When you start Sortie, one of the things that is introduced, or one of the things that are introduced for this rotation Sortie specifically, is the fates. If you remember previously in the upgrades, there's a concept of re-rolling fates. You'll be able to see it here. However, at the start of the entire encounter for Sortie, we're given 3 choices. The first one is a typical lore stuff. The second and third one are the more notable things. So the second one allows you to choose one out of three. Typically, this is what most people pick. And the third one, there's a predestined fate. You'll be able to have this fate active, I believe, in the inner depths. So you're not able to use the fate buffs until then. So if we use this as an example, we can see the cheap ramp goat thing singing, and we're introduced with three random fates. Because I'm running a difficulty 5 with a risk modifier of 30, one of the fates are have it's not pickable to me, and I have no ability to search again. Otherwise, if we look through each of the fate cards, we'll see what kind of benefits they give you throughout the run. For the first one, gain 100. If you incur 2,000 credits, gain a random one rare fate. So that's one of the cards or fates that you can choose from. The second one would be Curse Relic. You gain one anemia. Anemia is one of the statuses cards, which does nothing but makes your deckhand quite increases deckhand by one. And you gain one random unique equipment. So unique equipment is the highest rarity you could get for your in-game gear for your combatant. And the third one, this same in the same vein, but you get one random fate. So here I'll show you the search again. Cerulean Fate. Each turn increase shield and heal amounts for the first skill cards. So you can see what Fates does and how important it is whenever you play Sortie. So let's use this for an example to show you guys what kind of rare fates that you can pick. Or you can get. Here, the Event Protector, when you have event cards, okay, you can see 22% is a lot, to be frank. But personally, depending on what kind of unique gear I could have gotten, I would have picked the second one initially. But that's just a thing that I have to consider later on. Here, this is what I talked about before, where you're able to choose a combatant. We get a set of 3 combatants. If you did not upgrade the skill tree where it shows you the thing, that's unfortunate. You'll only get 3 choices. Otherwise, we'll be able to reroll over here to see who we can get. And we can choose the best ones for the entire team. Okay. Now that I've shown you guys some of the basic things over here, let's go through some semantics, or not necessarily semantics, some key things to note. So your goal whenever you do Sortie is that you want to clear it all the way through if you can. As it is a game mode for fun, that should be your main thing. Can you clear it and can you not? Next is that, like I've said before, combatants that you do not own, you're able to pick them up through the search your combatants to include to your party. However, there are some things that to take note. If you own that combatant, I believe, and they have like a partner equipped, they're level 60, they get those kinds of stats. As you've seen before, that Nia has one of the partners, I forgot her name, that let you reroll the cards or draw cards. If you do not have Nia, for example, they'll only scale up to level 55 in my case, and they'll be provided a random 3-star or 4-star partner. So do take note about that. Next, let's talk about strategies. One thing to take note of is that whenever you play Sortie, the key thing here is that you're playing around. First, you're playing around for fun. Second, you have to play around the fact that whatever you do, you have to build around a certain plan or in-game plan that you have in mind. For the case of Hyde Marie, if you're planning to play Hyde Marie as a main DPS, your intention for your entire team should make Hyde Marie shine. Like discard, draw, or perhaps you have the typical like defensive options such as Kalipe, A- Amir, Maribel, and the likes, Magna, and you can support or you can have the other options like playing Nia for your healers, playing Ray, Tefera, and all the likes, or you have the other option of playing the extra damage characters like Hugo and Selena. So you can the main thing that makes Sortie more enjoyable is that you're able to play all of the combatants quite fun. And that's a really good thing. However, of course, there are still going to be like meta choices whenever you play this game mode. And that's unavoidable and hopefully gets improved on. So once again, Sortie has been a really good thing and a really fun game mode so far. It just needs some improvement and it has to be updated a lot. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a nice day.